Grand Rising Detroit, coming to you with a heavy topic. They've been trying to mess with me getting this message out ever since I put the title on there. Breaking it up, making it choppy. But I'm gonna get the message out regardless. And the message is about the woman king and the purge law and how these things are not coincidental. Not at all. As you come in the building, like and subscribe and share the video. This is New Black Media. Not allowing them to change or do something with the narrative. They've been messing with my feed all morning ever since I put the title, and I haven't changed the title. You know what I mean? So I keep coming back, and they keep interrupting it, talking about I can't connect, but I know I'm connected because I got my pavilion right there, and it's still connected. Let me check it. Let me check it. Let me check it to be sure. Yeah, I'm fully connected. All right. So, what I'm saying to you is this. They want to change the narrative and control the narrative while at the same time they change the game in the ninth inning. Now, we loved Viola Davis in The Help. We love Viola Davis in every movie that she played where she represented something that was authentic and genuine. This is not the case. This is not why they're saying boycott the movie. It's about the nature of the Dahomey tribe in the creation of this fictional character that Viola Davis is playing. Just like when they showed you Harriet Tubman. They created the black man that was chasing Harriet Tubman when that was historically incorrect. It was a white woman who was rich, who was financing bounty hunters for Harriet Tubman because some of her slaves had escaped. But that goes against feminism, and it goes against an agenda. Because white women want you to think that they're on board with you with feminism, and all the time, they still want to be above you. And they still want to look down on you, and they still want to be the standard of beauty. That's a female thing. We talking man shit today. Okay. Now, they said boycott the movie. And people want to say, oh, that's because of misogyny. You hate to see strong black women. That's a lie. We hate to see the lies perpetrated that diminishes our character and diminishes as who we really are. Everybody knows in Africa, there's never been a time in Africa or anywhere else on a planet where an army of women fought and defeated an army of men. That's not historical, it's not accurate, it's not plausible, it is not possible. Sorry. Nothing against none of you sisters or whatever, but all you black women that know y'all do not want to fight no man. You know you don't want to fight no man. Be serious. You don't want to fight your baby daddy. You don't want to fight your daddy. You don't want to fight your husband. And you don't want to fight the little nigga at the store that bump into you when you going to buy gas or whatever. You don't want to fight no man, period. And that's in 2022. So you think back then, as patriotic as Africa and the Middle East is, that they ever allowed, or that ever really happened like that? In a tribe that based their whole economy on slave trade? It's good entertainment, but sisters don't take that to heart because it's using the imagery to fuel hostility when you've been having a gender war for the last 2 years. With Cynthia G, Tasha K, they telling you all these things while they live peacefully somewhere with their man and their kids, where they get money off YouTube and get money out the street by telling you these things that make you more vulnerable exactly where you live at. Could you imagine what reality in the hood really looks like when black men and black women stop caring about each other? Because at this point, it's your kids that's killing you. And you don't want to face that fact. All through Detroit and all through this country, the kids is killing their mama and their grandmas. I got it documented. I can show you the footage. Go to my community feed. Go to my community section. Your kids are killing you. Not black men. Remember Tupac said years ago they was going to produce a race of babies that hate the ladies? The prediction been here. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the last tool that they would use to undermine the liberation of black people and the equality of black people would be to offer you his woman, and those who didn't accept his woman, he would turn the black woman against them. These are tricky, treacherous times, black people. It's going to be winter in Detroit. It's going to be winter in New York. It's going to be winter everywhere. Snow, ice, flat tires, the same nine. And you sisters want to go out there and y'all want to handle that and deal with y'all kids by yourself. After working 10 hours and putting in that job, you want to still get robbed and carjacked and victimized and sold off into human trafficking, huh? That's what you want. Because that's what you're living in. How long will you keep your head in the sand? How long will you ignore that these Caucasian people have think tanks? They have people who study us. They study history. They study nature. They don't do what you do. You don't read no book. You don't study your enemy. You too busy focused on a status that does not exist. For the last several decades, they've been elevating black women above the black men to create a scenario that created this very gender politic. Because they've already broken you. I was watching Joe Brown, and he was talking about the Willie Lynch letter and how people want to disregard it and act as if the Willie Lynch letter doesn't exist, but it's in the Library of Congress. And Willie Lynch said this. He said the Negro is like a horse. And people know horses are the smartest animals. It is. He said the Negro is like a horse. You cannot get a wild stallion and break him in ever riding, because he's going to kick you one day, he's going to bite you one day, he's going to throw you one day, because he was born free. He wasn't born in captivity. He said, but the mare, the female horse, he said you can keep her, and when she produces a baby, you take that baby and you give it back periodically, and you control her through her offspring, and she will teach the offspring how to be a slave. This is factual. In Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch also said we will turn the old against the young, and the young against the old, and the male against the female, and they will never be able to form a cohesive unity to where they can get away from the chattel slavery or the brakes that they had put, the bracelets that they had put on our bodies and on our minds. This is real. You went through 400 and something years of oppression, of slavery, and Jim Crow with these people. And then you voted in a president that called you super predators and said that y'all would turn his community into a jungle. Then you let a white woman put on chucks and tell you she was black so that you could shame and guilt black men into voting for a party that was always demonic. But y'all don't hear me though. Look at the crime. Look at the inflation. Look at the recession that you have endured under Jim Crow Joe and the very unseen Kamala Harris. But they used Stacey Abrams and they used them mammies to make you think that they was going to protect you. And what did they do? They took abortion rights. What did they do? They made a loaf of bread cost $5 and a dozen eggs cost $5 and raised the price of gas and didn't give you no raise and made you poorer and more unsafe and more victimized. And they did it in a short period of time because you voted for them. And you don't realize that your enemy is dependent on your compliance and your susceptibility. He tells you it's all right to weigh 400 pounds. He tells you it's all right to use drugs. He unleashes the dogs of war in your community, which is your youth. But long as you go to work and you got a workflow, you are right in this society. You ain't nothing but a slave. And they're going to come out and they're going to say, oh, they don't like the movie because it's black women empowerment. Where do you have power at? Since you're so powerful, show me where you have power at. I'll wait. Show me where there's women empowerment in Africa to this day. I'll wait. Show me where there's empowerment in the Middle East. I'll wait. The only people that want to be empowered over each other as a people is these Negroes and their Negro mentality. Because when you watched Ice Cube, when he had this thing where he was talking about he wanted to talk to whoever was going to win, and he went on Fox Soul with Vivica Fox and them other old mammies, and he said, I'm talking about something for black people. We want something for black people. And Vivica Fox and the other one said, well, is there anything for black women? And Ice Cube said, wait a minute. Aren't black women black people with black men and black kids? All three of them women collectively said no, that black women were something separate and had a separate identity from the rest of black people. And they said it in front of you on Fox Soul. So if you separate from the rest of black people in the black movement because you feminists and you've joined on with white people, you will never understand what's going on. And you will never win. Because you still gonna push a black baby out if you have one. And they don't want you to have no more. That's why they're killing your kids now. So let's jump into this clip right quick. Let's jump into this clip. No, y'all just came from church worshiping white Jesus.
499, who were the Dahomians? Kingdom established 1645 to 1685. So we're talking about them being around all the way into 1858. Strong military used power to get rich on slave trade, thrived off of slave trade. This is the king, and these women protected him. The slave route is a trail situated in Benin that covers the last 4 kilometers that were more than 1 million people kidnapped in Africa to be enslaved had to take before boarding the ships that would take them to America. Come on. So they took woman soldiers that protected the king. They made one movie that was tied to the Marvel thing that found its root in these soldiers. Sold it back to us. It was so successful that now they're going to make another actual biographical movie.
About Wakanda.
Now people want to talk about just the biography, but they want to leave out how it got popular.
Wakanda.
I want to talk. But they don't just have you dressing up in it. They got your kids dressing up. It's out of stock. You bought so many of them. It isn't just a movie. You tell that to Jewish people if they were to try to do this with the Nazis. They would never allow it because it's not allowed, because it's disrespectful, and it should never been allowed in this whole space. But how do you do that if people are acting like it's okay? because they need it. They need an escape from their own lineage while trying to tell us that we can't say Adolf. I'm trying to wake you up here. I'm trying to wake you up. I got people in the chat. We're addicted to symbolism. 310-388-3499. I want to hear from you. I'm going to talk. So we got problems with how did a Texas textbook end up describing slaves as workers from Africa? We got problems correctly with this.
Workers
the Atlantic
from Africa
slave trade between the
Texas.
1500s and 1800s brought millions of workers
hey,
from
take
Africa.
me to Texas.
Them workers came right from the Dahomey and Benin. We correctly have problems with this, but think we're going to be able to anchor that while we take our daughters and sons to watch Black Panther and The Woman is King and not address this tweet that tried to disassociate the two.
Thanks, Tone Talk. I'm gonna shut
Some of you guys gotta rebuild who you are.
YouTube deep, and their attention span don't be long enough. But I'm gonna show something else. I'm gonna show something else on my screen. Let me go to this history. Something I was seeing, and y'all remember this? Let me show you this. This went over a lot of people's head. What Trump said to Hillary Clinton. Check out what Trump said. Check out these white folks. All right, listen.
But I think we have to look very strongly at no-fly lists and watch lists. And when people are on there, even if they shouldn't be on there, we'll help them. We'll help them legally. We'll help them get off. But I tend to agree with that quite strongly. I do want to bring up the fact that you were the one that brought up the word super predator about young Black youth. And that's a term that I think was it's been horribly met, as you know. I think you've apologized for it. I think it's been horribly met. That I think was a predator about young Black youth.
I want y'all to hear this again. I'm sorry. I keep rewinding it, but I want you to hear.
I do want to bring up the fact that you were the one that brought up the word super predator about young Black youth. And that's a term that I think was it's been horribly met, as you know. I think you've apologized for it. But I think it was a terrible thing to say. And when it comes to stop and frisk, you know, you're talking about taking guns away. Well, I'm talking about taking guns away from gangs and people that use them. And I really don't think you disagree with me on this, if you want to know the truth. I think maybe there's a political reason why you can't say it, but I really don't believe. In New York City, stop and frisk, we had 2,200 murders, and stop and frisk brought it down to 500 murders. But
let me stop this. Because it's getting too deep, and I'm gonna have to narrate this for you. He said stop and frisk dropped the murder rate from 2,000 to under 500. Just with the law. And he said that she would agree if it wasn't for a political reason. What is the political reason that they came up with a purge law? And we call it the purge law because we've seen it actually here in Detroit. We've seen it here in Detroit where a guy strangled a woman, tortured her, violated her with objects, went to jail, and they let him right back out. He was home 2 days before he killed her, his mother, and his stepfather. How in the hell did he even get out of jail after he had just did the horrible, heinous things he had just did? Because that's policy now. You don't believe in the purge. You don't never believe in that there is a devil because you keep looking for a devil under the ground. You keep looking for a God in the sky. You keep messing with Judeo-Christian ethic. You keep putting up the white image of Yeshua with a Greek name, Jesus. You keep going back to the slave master. You love being slaves. You would rather be a slave than be your own black self. And they knew from Willie Lynch, when Willie Lynch broke it down, he said, you cannot break the wild stallion. You have to break the mare, because the mare, the female, is going to teach the children how to be slaves. That's a fact in Willie Lynch. You want to say Willie Lynch didn't exist? Go to the Library of Congress. It exists. These devils, they knew. Make the woman your partner, and she'll teach her children to be a slave. She'll raise them their whole life telling them, go work for Mr. Charlie. Don't talk back to Mr. Charlie. She became a co-partner with that. But at the end of the day, she still produced black babies, so she's still a threat to the whole world's genetic survival because of how dominant her genes is through melanin. And she wants to argue with the only man who will protect you. Do you really think that a Mexican man will protect you? A Chinese man protect you? White folks don't even come when you call for domestics no more. They come after. And then they go arrest the nigga. And you listen to people like Cynthia G, who lives somewhere with her husband and uses YouTube as a platform to lie and get money and leave women down the road of dissatisfaction because they so dissatisfied. One chick told me she had 5 baby daddies and had 6 kids and weighed 300 pounds. And talking about what a nigga bring to the table. Really? I watched her like, you weigh 300 pounds? And we dialoguing through her podcast. You weigh 300 pounds. You got 6 kids with 5 baby daddies. And you asking a man what he brings to the table. He don't have enough to bring to the table to take care of you, 5 kids, and whatever baggage. That's null and void. So if you mad at black men and that's your gripe, I mean, how did you get 5 baby daddies? At some point when you just say like, this ain't working for me. If men had to carry babies for 9 months and push them out their ass or whatever, do you know they wouldn't need population control? Because how many times we gonna go through that shit? How many times? No, knock it off. But there's an agenda, because the United States spends millions and billions of dollars on psychological operations called psych ops. They control a narrative and they're trying to control an algorithm. And that's where the YouTubers and influencers, that's where we beating them out. Because you can't control the narrative because we all got channels, we all got platforms, and we got the little hookers on tape. Oh yeah, we got these little hookers on tape calling us super predators, lying, talking about all this. Yeah, we got Joe Biden, we got them all on tape. Coming out their own mouth. So there's no reason for you to not know that the Democratic Party is the party of racism and oppression, just like the Republican Party. If you deny that at this point, you either a sellout, a traitor, an Uncle Tom, you just somebody that is a self-loathing, self-hating individual. And you trying to make that a man problem. No, that ain't no man problem. That you hate yourself. When I was in college, I was on a debate team. We did a debate. And we debated separate but equal. And on the people who was representing the black people, they said, we want to be equal. We want to be able to use the same toilet as white folks. We want to be able to go to the same school as white folk. We want to be able to go to the same church with white folk. We want to be able to work right alongside of white folk. The same person that have been whooping you, breaking you, and dogging you, and lynching you, and setting you on fire, and doing every kind of atrocity. You wanted to be next to him. It's ridiculous. How much can you hate yourself? And if you're mad at me and you ain't really mad at me, and you're mad at God on this Sunday. You're mad at God because God gave the original man a standard and he gave him something to stand on and said that you should serve him. And now the devil done told you that you don't have to. That's why you cursed. Because you're really not beefing with black men. You beefing with God. You beefing with the universe. You beefing with nature. You don't want to accept it. As long as you can put something in your mouth. And go buy some white designer name and put that on so you can say that you better than your neighbor or you better than your friend. And then you want to always sit up and talk about, oh, you just don't want to see a woman in power. Who do? On this planet. Not even God. To you Christians and to you Muslims and to any of you religious people that went to church or went where you went today, what did God say? Remember, they had this little thing was going around for a period of time. What would Jesus do? What you think Jesus would do? He wouldn't do the shit you doing. Talk the shit you talk. And you want to make it a gender war, like you could really win a gender war. And your kids is the ones that's killing you now. All through the country, all around the country. Kids is killing their mammies and their grandmammies. Their kids, the ones they raised. Guess what? I guess the nigga should have got on. I guess he should have bust up. You gave birth to something that turned around and killed you? Yeah. He got away by the hair of his chin. Yes, he did. And you don't want to face it. You want to make it a gender politic. You want to make it about misogyny. You don't even know what misogyny is. You don't even know what feminism. I can't even say that stupid ass word. Feminism. When white women wanted to have equal pay and they wanted to do something and they used it to subvert the whole civil rights movement. When you seen Martin Luther King, you seen sisters with him. When you seen Malcolm X, you seen them sisters wrapped with their gear on. When you seen Marcus Garvey, you seen sisters with him. So they divided that. So that the leaders couldn't get no rest at home. They couldn't get no peace because they always arguing and bickering with their woman because she want to be like white women. And white women don't want to do nothing but be better than her and be the standard of beauty. That's sucker shit. Nobody respecting you. Ain't nobody gonna protect you. Because if you still slow enough and you don't watch the news enough to think that this ain't like it used to be where you go on the phone and 911 the police come to protect your ass. No, they ain't coming as soon as they hear your voice. Come get my baby daddy. He over here kicking my ass. They be like, all right. What was that, Becky? Just another one of them black girls out there arguing with a guy. Well, we'll get to it in a couple hours. Really? Because that's what's going on. They don't even answer your call. They don't even come no more for you. The same guard dog that they used to use for black men, he don't even answer no more because he said, I found a way to get him off. Let him do what he gonna do. We'll pick him up later. Or you march through there and think about, I got power because I can call the devil. Devil don't pick up for you no more. And God damn sure don't. Think about that. God don't answer your call, and the devil don't answer your call. Devil don't answer your call because he know he using you for a bigger purpose. God don't answer your call because he know he can turn his back on what he ordained for you. You proud of that? Ain't such place as Wakanda. And this is why, another thing, why Pan-Africanism don't work. And this guy, Umar Johnson, I feel sorry for him. I used to go at him, but he be being a sucker so much that he fell into a trick bag on Fox Soul trying to get attention, but y'all keep paying him, so I guess ain't nothing he can do wrong. He pandered so hard that he run around here calling dudes queen. You're a beautiful Nubian queen. That's a whole dude, nigga. And woman king. How can a woman be a king when a king is a male and the queen is the female? Is she? What is she? Oh, that's the undertone. Because in the movie they tell you that the women can't have a man, and you can't have a baby, and you can't socialize with men. You got to stay right up in here with all of us women. Most of the women that led feminism wanted access to other women. Crazy. You gonna go be somewhere that's like the Navy or someplace where you gotta be over here and there ain't gonna be nothing but me, and I don't wanna be there then. I wanna be around no bunch of hard-leg niggas. I ain't going. That's jail. That's prison. That's how they punish motherfuckers. They send you to prison. So you gonna willingly say, I don't wanna do nothing natural. Just put me over here with the fuckery, huh? Okay. Time out for this sucker shit, you know? And I want y'all to share my video, like my video. You got to like it. YouTube is messing with the algorithms. They don't push it. Like if you look at my numbers, I have over 40,000 people coming through here a month, but I don't get no subscribers, I don't get no likes. That's because YouTube don't like what I'm saying. YouTube want me to come on here and talk about Cardi B and talk about BBLs and BBWs and BBCs and all that other shit that entertain y'all. But at what point do entertaining y'all become selling out? Because I see people now, they be proud. I got 3 jobs. Like they on the Damon Wayans comedy show. I got 14 jobs, man. If you all you do is work your life all day and that's all you do, you a slave. You a slave. If all you do is go to work for somebody else so that you can have room and board and pay bills, you a slave. I was watching some economists. You really think Jay-Z is a billionaire? No, he's not. You think Oprah's a billionaire? No, they're not. Only in paper and only in interviews. You think that Bill Cosby was so powerful? You see how they dragging him about that bullshit? Quaaludes cost $50. You ain't gotta trick nobody that's up in Hollywood to take a Quaalude. All you gotta do is say you got them. And I got some Quaaludes over here. They're gonna be like, give me one. Like little kids with their hand out, give me one. Be serious. At what point in time will black people get serious about just being themselves? And I don't want to hear that we don't gotta call ourselves. We know exactly who we is. That Pan-African shit that Gabby talking about is a fantasy. You think Africa wants some more Negroes? You think Africa want Negroes? Negroes that steal from each other. Negroes that don't know their own gender. Negroes that don't know nothing except serving white folks. Do you think Africa is willing to accept you? They the same ones that sold you over here. And now you got a movie glorifying the slave traders. Lord have mercy. The people that conquered and dogged out your people and then sold them to white folk. And then the Dahomey was so horrible. They were cannibals. They cut off your head and bored your skull and used it for cups and drunk out of your skulls and put skulls all on the walls and hung heads up of other. They were a society of psychopaths. Factual. Read a book, read history, what they did. How you gonna embrace them? Oh, you gonna embrace them because they get Viola Davis. And we all like Viola Davis because she played in The Help, and she played in this movie, and she played in this, and whatever. Now they got her playing a fictional person, changing the narrative on historical facts. They always do that. Denzel played in Glory. Denzel had Malcolm X. He had powerful roles. They didn't give a Grammy till he played a dirty, drug-dealing cop. Halle Berry had good movies. They didn't give her a Grammy till she let Billy Bob Thornton bang her out. That's what they reward you for. They reward you for your debauchery, just like the devil. The devil always do that. The devil will always reward you for your complicity in the sin and the destruction of what God wants. This is Sunday message for your ass. You will always get rewarded. You the same, a lot of y'all the same people that be at work snitching on your co-workers. Yeah, you do. If Jesus was here, you would snitch on Jesus. Yeah, you would snitch on Jesus. You would snitch on Jesus. Because he wouldn't be with none of it. So, I'm not going to keep you long. Like, share, subscribe to the video. Go to the community section. Look at the things I posted from other sources so that you can see the facts and see what's going on. Support new black media. Change the narrative. Do your research on the Dahomey tribe. Do your research on Joe Biden and these crime bills. Be informed because knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Just like money talking, bullshit walk. Sign out Detroit. Peace out. Keep your head on that swivel.